Welcome to A Seat at the Table with Chef Ken. Today's guest is an accomplished entrepreneur, author, and one of the driving forces behind Cincinnati's thriving arts community. Litsa Spanos is the founder and president of ADC Fine Art, a nationally recognized gallery and art consulting firm. She built from just 2 clients into one of the country's premier destinations for artists, collectors, and businesses. Through her passion for creativity and her commitment to supporting artists, Litsa has helped shape careers, transform spaces, and inspire countless people to see the world through art. She defines what is possible when passion, hard work, and heart come together. I'm excited to learn more about her incredible journey. Please welcome Litsa to the table today.
Wow, thank
Hello.
you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, I'm honored. That was, I wasn't even sure that was about me. That sounds so impressive.
You're like, that's all me?
Wow, is that really me? Holy cow.
Right.
But cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
It's just wonderful being able to host incredible people, especially amazing chefs in the gallery.
Here we go. Well, that was what I really wanted to talk to you about. and the fact that you have so graciously allowed us to kind of take over this little space where you can't see right here because of where we're at, but I'm surrounded by, what did you say, about 2,300 pieces of art? Unbelievable. Yeah. There's a wall of like hot pink over there with all kinds of beautiful art all over it, which that's where my eyes went when I first walked into the room.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about this until I met Amy, and Amy's like, well, I might have a space. Let me see what I can do. And first time I came up here, I was really overwhelmed. And then when I learned about the story of this building, I was blown away. Tell us a little bit about this building and what you were able to do with this space.
Sure. So this building used to be a popcorn machine factory. For 67 years, Gold Medal manufactured popcorn machines here. And we actually have one in our kitchen. Just a little bit of a backstory. For me, art, food, wine, and people and music, when you have all of those things coming together, it's magical. It's absolutely magic. So when I saw this space, it was really, really ugly. It was awful. And but I saw the high ceilings, I saw the wooden floors. I knew, I had this vision, I knew that there was potential.
Yeah.
And that I could transform it, and this was during COVID that I did this. I knew that I could transform it into a place where people would want to come and ultimately eat, drink, be inspired, and buy art.
Well, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I thought what I really liked too was the walkway where you came in and you told me, or I think Amy or you told me that story. Do you mind sharing that?
Okay, so you know, one of the things that for me is very important is to make sure that everybody that walks in here feels special. Sure. And feels welcome. So I went on a search to find the perfect door, the perfect entry door into the gallery. And I walked into an antique store just up the street, and I found the door. And at the time, it was underneath all of these other things full of dirt and dust. And I saw it was like a curved section of the door, and I was like, wow, that is really cool. Let's take a look at it. Well, without knowing anything about this door, it's arched, it's a double door, it is about 108 years old now. And but I didn't know a whole lot about it. All I knew was that it resonated with me, and I fell in love with it, and I bought it on the spot. I kept thinking about this door. Where did this door come from? Like, where? So I went back and I asked the owner of the antique store, I said, where? And he said, well, the house is gone, but I can give you the address. It's in North Avondale. And so I actually went. He said, you're not going to see anything there because it's an empty lot. They tore down the house. But I went there, and it inspired me to do more research. I discovered that the door came from the home of the first African-American mayor of Cincinnati, Theodore Berry.
Wow.
And his name, he was a huge civil rights advocate. He was an attorney. He was an incredible individual. And I also discovered, so I wanted to learn a little bit more, so I posted the door on my Facebook. Amy, you'll appreciate this. And I heard from his son, Judge Ted Berry. And he said, he sent me a note. I think that is the door from the house that I grew up in.
Oh my gosh.
So he came over the same day, and he said to me, he goes, yep, that's it. And he goes, I'm going to tell you a story. He goes, my father was very much into civil rights, and he was having a fundraiser for Martin Luther King Jr., and he invited him to our home, and he walked through the door.
I love that story so much.
Talk about people feeling special, and without even knowing, the history, it just resonated with me, and I was like, I have to have this door. And then discovering that history just made it all just amazing.
I think that door found you.
The door, I think it found me.
I think there was this cosmic thing going on that somebody knew what you were doing in that door, and it all made sense, because when you walk through that, it feels like it's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was with the building, because period-wise, it would line up with it.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing building. Anytime you have an event, I think people should look and go onto your Instagram and really come up here. If you're into art, and I love art pieces, you have to see the variety of art that's in there.
But here's the thing, Ken. You don't have to be into art. All you need to do is come in, and you will be inspired. Most of our clients don't know much about art. They might be accountants, they might be attorneys, they might be just people that might not have had much experience with art, but my goal is to spread the love and to create a really happy place for people where they can see something new and different that they've never seen before.
I love that, and thank you for checking me on that. For me, I didn't grow up in a house of like art, I can barely draw a straight line with a ruler, but for me, food has always been the art piece for me, creating something that looks unique. And people always ask me, how do you know what it's going to look like? And I go, I don't know what it's going to look like till I start putting it together. And that's always, I never have a vision for what a plate's going to look like. I just have the ingredients, and I have the plate, and I do it.
And that takes a lot of skill. That you are an artist. You're an artist that creates your art to be enjoyed and eaten, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Right. And I love that about you and what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much. I think for me, I'm like anyone else who's a creative. I tend to be overcritical, but it's nice to have people around you who say, "Oh my gosh!" Most of the clients are like, "This is beautiful. I couldn't do anything like this." I'd say, "Well, that's why I'm there."
Yeah.
I think shifting gears a little bit, in researching about you and your story, I found that I don't know if I've ever read through a story like yours, as far as, coming into America at 3 years old, not knowing how to speak English, and to get to where you are right now. And to me, that story is not only a story of perseverance, but it's also a story that I think a lot of people would resonate with in regards to hope.
Right.
And having that hope and that. Do you mind sharing that? I mean, to me, it's really amazing because as far as a lot of people who listen, who could be entrepreneurs or people who want to start a business, but they're terrified to do that.
Right.
I've always told people, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. But I really love My story is kind of just boring. It's not as exciting as
everybody
yours.
has a story.
But
Everybody has a story.
But I think your origin story of like how you've got to this point with this space and where you are in your business and how you get back to the art world is really, truly amazing.
Oh, thank you. I come from very humble beginnings. Our village in Greece, and if you've ever been to Greece, it's very mountainous, and you have mountains, but right at the base of the mountains are little villages. And so my village is called Ayatossinis. We're from northern Greece. And we didn't even have running water. We had no running water. We didn't have electricity. We lived, there were farmers. My father was in the military. His parents decided that they were going to come to America for a better life. And they took his siblings. He was the oldest, so he stayed back in Greece. But I have to say that the best decision he ever made was to pack up his two children, my sister and I. We each had a suitcase.
Just one?
One suitcase. That was it. And they left everything behind. Their families, their friends. I mean, my dad had his parents here, but my mom, everybody that they knew they had to say goodbye to. And they did, because they wanted not only a better life for themselves, but for their future, for their children. So fast forward, we came to America, didn't even know how to speak English. And one of the things that my parents absolutely instilled in my sister and I was, if you don't try, you'll never know.
That's it. I love that.
If you don't try, you never know. And so, and also, follow your dream. And you know, when you're little kids, what is that dream? You might not know what that dream is, but as you grow older, you choose what you're good at, what brings you joy and what brings others joy. And that was my dream, and was to do something creative. My sister is also an art dealer. She graduated with a fashion design degree. We're all artistic, whole family. My mom used to make our clothes when we were little. She designed them. She was also an amazing cook. Had an organic garden. Like, we had a very artistic, wonderful life here in the States. But we didn't have a whole lot. But I chose art. We chose that. And my parents said, you know what? If you love what you're going to be doing, if that's something that you will make money, if you work hard and if you work smart, the money will come.
Yes.
So I didn't go into it saying, I want to make money. I went into it saying, I'm going to do something that I love. And if I work hard enough and smart enough, the money will come. And that's what happened.
And there you go. And now,
there you go.
To me, that is amazing, because a lot of entrepreneurs that I talk to will get stuck in the, well, but I have this, I got to make this amount of money right off the bat and this and that. And it's just not correct when you're starting to put together a business. Yes, you have to pay your bills, you have to make money, but when you're, learning, when I know in my business, learning was just saying yes to anybody who would let me cook for them, right? It was a baby shower, or a wedding shower, or it was, helping kids make pasta in somebody's kitchen, and charging them really pennies, because I wasn't really charging them more than what it was taking to get buy the ingredients. But it was about doing it and getting it out. And then when I would get done, I'd be like, all right, I did it, right? In the early days of you running your business, I think what I read was that you started with your sister's house.
Yeah, it was in the basement.
In the basement of your sister's house.
Yeah.
So you didn't wait until you had enough money to make this. No, you just started, right?
Yeah, and so, one thing is I'm a visionary. So I love to take and do something out of nothing. So even though I was in the basement for a whole year, and I actually did, we're full service. So we frame here, we deliver, we install the art, we do, all of it. I used to frame at night and sell art during the day.
Wow.
So anyway, So left there after a year, and created I went to the Pendleton Art Center. I don't know if you're in OTR.
Yes.
That's where I got my start. I started with 500 square feet, and when I left there, I had 17,000 square feet.
Of course you did.
So, because I kept building,
That's
I kept
right.
building. Well, one thing my dad also taught me and my sister, don't ever go into debt. Don't go into debt. If you don't have the money, don't buy it.
There you go.
Don't buy it. So I would grow when I would have the money, the space,
That's right.
and hire people as I grew and as I had the money. So, there's no debt. In the 30 plus years that I've been doing this, I've had zero debt.
That's amazing. I mean, but the way that I always did it, I didn't buy a full commercial kitchen and all the gadgets. The only time I would buy something is like when I needed it. So it would be a year into the business and I'm like, oh, I have a dinner that requires this. Then I'll buy that item because I can cover it with what I'm making on the dinner.
Exactly.
And then over years, over 10 plus years, I have all the stuff, but occasionally there might be like a dinner this past week I had and I had to buy it and I'm like, oh, I don't have one of those? Okay, I'll go get it. Not as hard at this point to go purchase something like that than it would have been early on in the business and being like, oh, I'm not making as much and now I got to go and throw down this amount of money for that, which just didn't make sense. So the reinvestment in yourself and in your business and in your passion makes way more sense than being in debt.
And it's less stressful.
Yes.
So when you have a lot of debt, then you're stressed out to be able to pay that debt and to be able to then money starts becoming your focus versus what you're really doing, why you're really doing what you're doing. So for me, not having that debt gave me the freedom to enjoy what I was doing more. And that comes through. Your customers see that.
Oh yeah.
They don't see desperation. Oh my gosh, she's just selling me this to pay for her debt or for my money.
Right.
She's doing this because of me.
Right.
Like she really wants to create a beautiful space for me, for my home, for my office, for whatever it might be, a hospital that I might be working on. I do it for the client and to create a beautiful space that can bring people joy.
Right.
And you know what? I get paid for that.
Isn't that amazing? I get paid for cooking for people in their homes and I love it. I think it goes down to intent.
Right.
It's all about the intent that you have, especially when you're in sales. The intent should, no one wants to feel like they're being sold on,
Never.
You don't, I saw you have a brand new car, I saw online, I got to see it here, beautiful car. When you go there, you want them to tell you all about the car and get you to fall in love with it, not try to hard sell you on the vehicle. Like I'm already here, so get me excited about it.
Exactly.
So for me, everything I do filters through how do I create that memory that they never forget. And for you, it's like how do I create a space in someone's home that's unforgettable and they have to tell all their friends about it.
Exactly.
Right. So I think intent is such a big deal when you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're into a customer facing or a sales situation, because people can tell if they're being sold to.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've been in that situation, and like I am now, if I feel that at all, I'm like, yep, nope, we're done with that. I'm not going to do that. So I think with art, it's so subjective, the way people look at things. I'm distracted lots of times. I'm usually facing the other way and I'm looking, but now I'm looking over it here and I'm seeing pieces that, for instance, that second one there with the red and the white and the green. And I remember in research I was so interested to find out about colors when you talked about colors, the blues and the greens and being soothing for what the work you've done in hospitals. But the one that I found most interesting about was the colors that made you hungry. And I didn't know there were colors that made me hungry.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that. But now I'm rethinking everything about food.
So there's a lot of emotions that go into color. If you notice in healthcare environments, You don't see any red, you don't see any yellow, and I'm not going to say why. You can kind of figure that out.
Right.
We usually use a lot of very soothing colors, blues and greens, and just beautiful colors. I mean, you can bring in some of those colors within, but you can't have a piece that's dominant.
Right.
Now, food-wise, in restaurants, if you notice, a lot of restaurants have red walls.
Red walls.
Red walls, if you notice, red in a lot of restaurants. And you know why? Red makes you hungry.
So is that why I'm looking at that picture and it's kind of making me hungry for dinner right now?
Red, I don't know why, but they've done lots of studies, and red is a color that makes you enjoy food more. And so you'll see a lot of red as like in restaurants.
And when I think about it, when I start looking at like signage for restaurants, especially like a fast food, where I think you see it more dominant in that, where they'll be in red or in yellow.
Look at McDonald's, red and yellow. So
Red and
yellow
yellow
is another really hot color in the food industry.
Right.
Because it's proven that it does. You just enjoy food more. So like McDonald's, red and yellow. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
But it's true. But even fine dining. Fine dining, you'll see more of the richer colors, deeper, like moodier colors, because it feels more, I don't know, rich and inviting, and you just want to eat and you just enjoy your food more.
Yeah, so now I'm totally rethinking how I plate food up now, and my color palette for my business has always been very black and white. My logo is black and white, everything's black and white, because I always felt like that was neutral to an extent, so you could do anything with it, but then also that color, it being evoking more of a fine dining situation. But now I'm thinking red. So
but here's the thing, Ken. The black and white is such a smart base for what you're doing, because then you could do anything you want.
That's right.
You can bring in some red. It opens up so many possibilities. So you were right on to do black and white for your logo and all that, and it also will make your food stand out.
Yeah, and I use all white plates because I think of it as a canvas.
Exactly.
So when someone wants to use, like this lady had, I think it was Versace.
Oh, right.
Her China was last week, but it was very, you know how like a lot of
color,
a lot of color, blacks and stuff, and I'm like, okay, and I did. We use it because people love using their china, but I'm thinking about like my white plate, and I have all different shapes and everything, and that all goes into, let's say we have 4 courses. I might start with a round plate. The next plate will be square.
Yeah.
Round, square, and you change that plating I think that is part of it too.
Yeah.
The art part that's maybe unconscious to me. Presenting things in odd numbers on the plate.
Sure.
As I've been told by chefs that invokes more of an art nature to it. And there's all kinds, some people create dishes that are like art and you wouldn't even touch them to eat them because they're amazing. Yeah. But I have always loved the fact that it's almost like for me playing with food.
Yeah.
When I played up and people are like, you're so artistic, but if you gave me a canvas and some paint, and say make a tree, I am not someone who's, gonna be able to do that. But when you give me food, it's like it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And so it's weird. I think I love how art is that. I've always enjoyed. We have some pieces that we've bought that we love oceanscapes and water. I love water in art because it's relaxing. Like you said, it's soothing, and you feel part of that.
Yeah.
Water, everyone feels like they're a part of the ocean or the water, I think.
Yeah. I love
so
that.
For me, that is all, if it were up to me, I would be surrounded by
water,
waves, and beach scenes and stuff like that. That's what
but
I
here
like.
we are in Cincinnati, so
know.
you surround yourself with artwork that reminds you of the water, and then makes you,
Yeah, it
so
makes me super happy about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So amazing story. I hope people understood that origin story for me, especially as we kind of dipped into kind of the next section that I wanted to talk to you about, because I know it's so passionate for you, is helping new artists.
Yeah.
Really helping out people, because there's probably a lot of people that, there's probably a lot of people who are unbelievable artists, and they're sitting in their house and they're creating art, and they're terrified to put it out there, put themselves out there, or know how to do that, right? And you took it upon yourself to write a book about that, and explain really the passion behind that, and what you try to do for young artists.
So my mission has always been, and now more than ever, to support living artists. My motto is the dead artists don't need the money. So for me, it's very gratifying to be able to sell a piece by an artist and give them money, so then they can turn around and continue to create more.
Yes.
So that has always been something that's been very gratifying for me, and I really focus on that. I have events throughout the year, 2 major events, where I bring in new artists. And I'm really focusing on emerging talent too. Like, I want to let those artists know that, yes, they're worthy. Their art is worthy of being in an art gallery. Let's get your art. And then when it's sold, it is like Christmas for them. And it's just so exciting. So I love that. And you'll see every single piece, over 2,200 pieces here, almost 2,300. Every single artist is a studio artist, alive and working.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome.
And I love that whole idea of you bringing them in, and isn't it like a contest?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have them compete, and that to me, is amazing. But I think one of the things that I love is that you've decided to take that upon yourself later in your career. The last guest I have on, I talked to him about mentoring, and that I didn't decide that one day I wanted to start mentoring, but I had people start reaching out to me, and I'm like, yeah, for the right person who has the right mindset and who is goal driven and really wants to make it work, I'll tell them everything. I'll let them work with me. I'll show them the ins and outs of what I do. And it kind of feels like that is what your passion is too.
Well, most artists, I would say, 75% of artists don't know anything about business.
Yeah.
They haven't been taught business in art school. They really don't know. So that's why I wrote the book,
Right.
Secrets of the Art World. It's a business book for artists. And in the book, it has case studies. Other artists talk about how they become successful. We interview other galleries. Like, it is it's a very simple, easy book to read, but it's so practical, and it really gives you that mindset of, hey, what am I gonna charge for this? I create this painting. This is my baby that I've created, and now I'm handing it over. What the heck do I put as a price on my baby?
That's a great
And what
question.
if someone says, I don't want your baby?
No.
So there's a lot of emotional, a lot of that goes on that with artists. There's so many artists are so scared about putting their baby out there, fear of rejection.
Yeah.
But I try to open up the doors and say, hey, let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
And
Try to help them out. And that's such a great question, because pricing art is that must be, it's like who is it, what their experience is, I guess. A lot of different factors kind of go into that math equation, but like you don't know how. Sometimes we were in here for a show, and I asked the lady how long she had been working on that particular piece, and it was a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And it's like you put all that time into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about pricing of art. I know that usually the ones that I like at the galleries I go to are very expensive. I don't think that's a coincidence. I just think, like, if I see something, I'm like, oh, I really like that one, and then I and then the price is on a little card.
Little tiny
the
tag, you have to look
card.
at it, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's why.
So there are different ways to determine pricing. And so for an emerging artist that's never sold anything, that is something where I would give them advice. And I base that on their technique. I base it on what it is, the size, and saleability. So they look for direction from me in that sense. But if it's an established artist, so there's three categories. There's emerging, there's mid-career, and there's established artists. So the established artists have been out there. They've been working for a long time. They've been selling their work in multiple galleries. They've gotten awards. They've been in different shows. They have a set price that everybody across the board is selling their work for. And so you don't want to go under that because you don't want to diminish their value. But you always want to strive to bring their work higher and higher. Then the mid-career artists, those are the ones that have worked probably 10 to 20 years. And they have a few galleries that are showing their work, and you can use what other people are selling it for as a guide too.
Right.
And then the emerging talent,
Right.
they're the people that need the students or the artists that might not have pushed themselves into doing it full time, that might be doing art when they're also doing another job full time.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of ease into that
Yeah.
as far as pricing goes.
By working with all these emerging artists, especially, what is one thing that you've learned about yourself when dealing with these younger artists? Has there been something over time that you've learned from working with artists and helping them come up through the art world?
Yeah, I mean, I put myself in their shoes. And I just think, what can I do for this artist? What is a reasonable amount that they would feel comfortable selling it for, and that we as a gallery would also feel comfortable selling it for? So again, if the artist is not established, you can't charge as much because they have no record. They have no there's no base. So a client will say, well, wait a second, why is that so much? And if you don't have anything to tell them, like the provenance of the work and the artist and what their achievements are, how can you go to that higher level? So you've got to always start at a fair price. And a lot of our clients love supporting emerging artists.
Right.
And it also opens up that whole group of people that might want to buy original art.
That's right.
And they want to get it for a good price, and it's good work.
Right. And then that emerging artist turns into established artist.
Because more and more people are buying their work.
Right. And that is the progression. That's how it works. I mean, if you start in a kitchen, a lot of top chefs in the world started by washing dishes in a restaurant.
Yeah.
There's countless stories of some of the best chefs, men and women, in the restaurant business that have started by, doing prep work overnight at a restaurant or doing dishes, and they just did that. Then they learned one more thing, got a little more established, got a little bit, more skills, right, techniques, and just became just amazing chefs. And I love that. When I hear stories about that, I'm like, oh my God. That is really rags to riches, because when you're in the dish tank doing dishes, and I've spent a lot of time doing that, it's very humbling, to say the least.
Yeah.
Now, you were telling me, as we talked about before we came on, you talked about loving to go travel with your husband.
Yeah.
And, I thought, what, aside from Greece, which I'm sure is a place that you go often, what is one place that you just love and why?
Oh my gosh. So one of the things I love to do is travel and eat.
Yes, I do too.
So my husband and I are foodies very much, because he cooks a lot. He's a home chef. For him, he only cooks for people that he loves. He can't cook. Well, he can. I've asked him to for other people, but he gets the most satisfaction out of cooking for people that he loves. But we've traveled the world. I mean, my favorite place, oh my gosh, well, I'm Greek, so I love Greece, but I have to say Italy Italy, you know, we were in
Pete, the
Sicily.
producer, is a very fan of that.
Yes, because you're Italian.
There you go.
Right?
Shout out.
We've traveled to Sicily, eaten amazing food there. We've traveled all over Italy, like, you know, oh my gosh, Florence,
Yes.
Milan, you know, so many places. Naples, we've just traveled all over the world. This year we went to Africa.
Wow. Okay.
And we got some great food in Africa. In Johannesburg and in Durban, we went on a safari, and we, you know, we love experiencing the food of that area. We also went to Cuba this year, which was pretty amazing too.
Wow.
But we've really traveled all over, and just trying the different foods. And sometimes it's unexpected.
Yes.
You will go in somewhere and you will have the most amazing, in a little tiny place with maybe a few tables and chairs. You see that a lot in Italy and Greece.
Yes, a lot in Italy where you're like, this is the restaurant? And you're like, yeah. And then you sit down and you're like, okay, that is in the top 5 best meals I've ever ate in my entire life. And
Right?
that happened 2 years ago when we went for 2 weeks. We went to Venice, then we went northern Italy into Gargano and up through that area, and the Amarone region of Italy, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I can't even explain. I was drinking and eating constantly.
You can't
and
help
I
yourself.
came home, Litsa, I'd lost 3 pounds. Now, if that's the reason I love Italy, I don't think there is another reason to
Here's
love
the
Italy.
thing. All the food is natural.
Yes.
It's grown. It's not manufactured. It is good food. The pastas are made from scratch with good flour.
Yeah.
The foods are organically grown. You know, you drink wine because it's organic most of the times, and it doesn't have the sulfates. It doesn't give you a headache.
Right.
You know, you walk a lot.
Walk a lot. You do walk a lot.
So all of that really was probably the reason why you lost weight, when you ate and drank nonstop.
Nonstop, and you know, drinking wine typically gives me like headaches. Like it gets, and like, I'm like, so we drank a big dinner, and we drink a bunch of wine. I'm like, here we go. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna have heartburn. First of all, I already know I'm gonna have heartburn because I will have it if I drink. I'm so sorry, but California blend wines or some other wines have too many sulfates in it, and that's what gives me the heartburn. And every night, every morning I woke up, I was like, all right, it's time for a chocolate croissant and a cappuccino.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was ready to go every morning, and I'm like, I feel great. So yeah, so I think most people would agree, except for some exceptions, that yes, Italy would probably be in the top.
Love Italy. And France. France is another great one. So another story is my husband took me to Paris for our 25th anniversary. And literally, Ken, we drank wine morning, noon, and night. And the wine there
Sounds amazing.
was cheaper than the water. So we were like drinking wine, and you know, you buy it like they just pour it out of big vats, you know what I mean? They pour the wine in glasses. And you're just like, you're hanging out, you're just drinking wine all day long, and you never get a headache the next day.
No.
And it's less expensive than drinking water. And it's so good.
Now, in French cooking, there is a lot of butter and a lot of cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it balances out because, But I love eating at French restaurants. There's a French restaurant that I go to, shout out Aldette, in Rhode Island, that I love. And they do really great French food. And I can't get enough of the creams and the sauces and the butter and the bread.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
The escargot
Yes.
in Paris is just to die for, and you can even get it like at a, you know, you're at a street, you know, a restaurant right on the street where you're ordering, you know, champagne from Champagne, and then you're drinking or you're eating escargot and with loads of butter, and it's the best.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, when we start talking about
and
food.
fresh, crusty bread,
Yes.
right? It's
Yes.
just delicious. Sometimes the simplest things
It
are the
is.
most delicious.
Yeah. For me, it was a time we were in. I took a boat out for the day to visit different parts on Lake Garda, and one of the little towns that we went into, they had it was a dad and a son gelato place, and they have ricotta fig gelato. And as soon as I saw that was there, I was like, okay, yes.
Yeah.
And then I ate it, and I'm like, oh, this is like, it's not like, oh, I'm just eating some chocolate ice cream walking around looking at churches. No, I'm eating this, and it
And you're
like
in heaven.
stopped me in my tracks. And I'm like, oh, this is the best gelato I've ever had in my life. Like the best combination, that flavor, because you knew that ricotta was fresh and that the figs were fresh, and that all they did was just add those in together.
And they
Yeah.
made it with love.
Yes.
And they made it with love.
And that's the important part, I think,
and you,
Italy
you knew it
is,
was a
yeah.
father and a son.
Yeah.
You knew that the figs were, harvested that day or earlier.
Probably. most
You knew
likely.
that the cream was from the local dairy farm, and they did it together and served you with love. So that makes it extra delicious.
I think what we've come to the conclusion, if anything on this podcast, is that everyone needs to go to Italy right now
Yes.
and start eating. I think that is kind of like
You just
where we're
have
at.
to. You just have to go to Italy and just start eating your way through Italy.
Yeah,
And all over, northern, everywhere. Go and just eat.
I have been to the northern part, and then I spent time at different, but I haven't been south yet. I think Puglia and those areas in Sicily and different areas I think are definitely on my list next time.
Sicily is pretty amazing.
I am just not into going where there's large crowds.
Yeah.
So the large crowds kind of take away from my enjoyment of
Yeah.
it. That's why I haven't been to Rome and Florence and stuff. Because the more touristy it gets, the less I start enjoying myself.
But you can find pockets, like
Yeah.
in Florence. Rome is a big city,
Yeah.
so yes, it's going to be very crowded. But you got to see the Vatican. You know what I mean? Like those are certain things that are on
Do
the
I
bucket
really?
list. You got, I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, and all of its glory. But then you go off to other places, little pockets,
Yes.
where families are, and where one of the things my husband and I always do is when we get into a cab or an Uber, we'll say to them, where does your grandmother like to go out to eat?
Wow. Especially in
Where
Italy,
does-
that would be a really
You know what I
good
mean?
question to
So
ask.
you go,
Yeah.
you go to where does your family like to go out to eat? So you
They're like
let go
Nana's
of all
house.
the touristy places and you go
Right.
to where they're it's a family kind of thing, and that's where you're going to get like amazing.
The best. Or
The best.
maybe if you're
The
lucky,
best.
they say you can just come back to Nana's house with me.
And
that would be a dream come true
yeah,
for me.
and that's happened a few times with us.
I-
They'll invite us over because, in Greece and Italy, the hospitality, like the people are so warm and friendly, and they were just like, come on over. So yeah, we've had some really great experiences.
Also Greece. I've done a dinner where I cooked for and did multiple courses with just small plate, different Greek items, and just learning about it and all the different flavors that come into it. It's not narrow spaced for Greek. It's a variety of things, and it was just so much fun. I would love to do it again and learn more, especially from someone who I just kind of did research on my own. I wasn't like sitting in a kitchen with someone. And that would be a lot of fun. I love learning about different cultures and the traditions. Even before the food, tell me the tradition, then tell me the food. I want to know, well, we all get together for this day, and we eat this, and it's a big feast, and here's why we do it. Those things, I think that's why I enjoyed so much watching Anthony Bourdain and his show, No Reservations, because he really highlighted traditions and food that it was intermingled with that tradition in cultures. And I think that having those traditions, even if you have them within your family, I or building them. If you don't have those in there in your life, you should try to build some of those in, because it's really amazing when you can bring people together and share dinner and have incredible food. I mean,
you can't have, as a Greek, you cannot have Easter without lamb.
there you go.
Like, there's a tradition that you just can't break. You have to have lamb at Easter.
Well, then my wife would be very happy, because that's her favorite.
She loves lamb.
Loves
Yeah.
lamb.
Yeah.
Loves anytime it's on the menu, she's probably ordering
Yeah.
it. I probably don't cook it at home enough, because I'm like,
You can come, Julie, you can come to our house. we do like our lamb.
yeah. So how do you do it in a rack or braise?
So my husband makes fresh gyro
Okay.
meat, with lamb
Yes.
and pork. So gyro sandwiches with the pita. He makes the pita bread and puts that in the middle with fresh tzatziki on there.
Yes.
But he also roasts the lamb. You can do shish kebabs, souvlaki. You can do a lot like lamb with potatoes or lamb with rice in, kind of all in one big pan that you roast and put in the oven.
I love that.
So mint jelly, no. No mint jelly for a Greek. We will poo-poo that. That'll
When I was at a restaurant downtown, will remain nameless, but when I kind of came in there, and I started looking at the menu and what they had, and if we were going to make changes on it or whatever, and they had lamb on there, and we would do it was rack of lamb, and we would cut them in double chops, and they would put them on this plate here, and people would just eat just an enormous amount of that mint jelly with it, and I tried that one time, in the restaurant. I had never had it in my life, and I took a spoon. I was like, all right, I gotta try this, and I tried it. I was like, I had to spit it out. I couldn't eat it. And I'm like, you're eating that with
that. It doesn't
that?
make any sense.
I'm sorry, no offense, but I'm just saying that there's other better things you can do with the lamb. I love it in the pita. I think that would probably be
really good.
With the tzatziki.
Yes,
I think
and tomatoes and onions.
Yes, and I had something like that at a Greek restaurant that we went to in Cologne, Germany, actually.
Okay.
Because German food, it was
German food, right?
German food is a liter of beer. That's what I would tell people.
Yeah.
But when we were in Cologne, we were walking around, and we had just went to the famous church there, and then we climb up, climb down. I was wore out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to walk very far to get anything to eat. So we stumbled upon, and everybody was like, we were like, yeah, whatever. And we sat down, and then we had those.
Yeah.
And I ordered one, I ate it, and then I went up and ordered another one because they were so good. And again, that's somebody who's not really having lamb as I'd rather have a steak or a pork chop or something. But I remember that preparation of it was just, they were cutting it, and oh, so good.
Yeah. And one of my fondest memories is, because I still have so much family in Greece, and as a kid we'd go back and we'd put, my family would put my uncles, a lamb on a spit and cook it outside, by the mountain. So you'd have this big picnic with all the family, and then you'd have the lamb, and everybody would be drinking ouzo, beer, wine, whatever. Not the kids, but the adults. And everybody would be hanging out, and then you're watching this lamb on the spit just cooking, all afternoon. And then when it was ready, it was heaven.
Yeah. The ouzo.
Ouzo,
when I did that dinner for that Greek dinner for the group, there was a lot of that consumed.
Yeah.
And then when the dinner was done, they were like, no, you have to have some. Now you have to have some more. And I'm like, all right, that's
it's strong.
I'm never going to say
strong.
no. It was very strong.
Very strong.
Very strong. Well, it's been so interesting listening to your story, learning a lot about, I think, art and your life and what you've done and how amazing it is. I think it gives people who might want to take that chance to take that leap, do it, but do it smart, right?
Do it smart.
Yeah. So what I like to do when we close, I like to ask kind of a question to that. And This question, I think, is kind of one that it's probably going to end up asking a lot of business owners this question because I love it. If somebody's listening and has a dream and they've been afraid to pursue, what would you tell them?
It's okay to take a risk. It's okay to take a risk. I have failed many times. I've tried many different things. Without taking a risk, you will never know.
That's right.
You will always wonder. So to me, that's my advice, is just go for it.
Go for it.
And if you fail, that's okay. Just try again. You know, there's nothing wrong with failure. To me, it's all up. You learn from that. So, but if you don't try, you will regret not trying. So
people say, "What if I do this and I lose?" But what if you don't do it?
What if you don't do it?
What check do you want to cash?
Exactly.
Do you want to cash a check to hard work or regret? You know, it's a pretty expensive one, is regret, because you can never go back and change that. So I love that. And the making mistakes thing is,
it's okay.
That is a huge thing. I've done things and been embarrassed and been like, why did I think I was going to be able to do that?
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense. And now I'm stuck here with all this, and I'm like, all right, let's keep moving. And then I think the one main thing is, like, always making sure that you learn from the mistake and try very, very hard to never make that mistake again.
Right.
And I think that's really the math equation for entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, try, work hard, learn from the mistakes, and try to never make those mistakes again.
Right. And as an entrepreneur, find something that you are passionate about, that you love to do, so it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
Because you're loving what you're doing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into being an entrepreneur. It's not like, I hate accounting, I hate anything like that, you know.
Me too.
But I know I have to do it as an entrepreneur. But overall, you know, pick something that you really love to do. So when you are working those 12, 16-hour days, you know, it is meaningful to you.
Right.
And it's also meaningful to others.
I love that. It helps you through it.
Yeah.
Because when I go through a 14, 16-hour day, when I have a dinner and I'm tired, but I'm still excited.
Right.
I'm still, I always think to myself, I'm not in a job where I have to do it.
Right.
I get to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's always been the difference between working for yourself and working for someone else.
Right.
So I get to do this today. I have people who depend on me, and I get to, you know, you get to change someone's life with art. I get to change someone's life with food, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Right on.
So,
Right on.
Litsa, where would people find you online, and if they were wanting to learn more about what you have here, which is beautiful? I think everyone has to see this.
So everyone is welcome.
Right.
We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We are on the West End, near the soccer stadium and Finley Market. And the website is adcfineart.com.
Right, and they can find you on the Instagrams.
You can follow us on the most amazing Instagram. I mean, it's the best. It's so entertaining.
And why is
we
it the
find us
best?
dancing. We just have so much fun.
Yeah.
Because art should never be intimidating. Beauty should never be intimidating. It should just always make you happy.
That's right. I
So
love
that
that.
is what we do.
Well, Litsa, thank you so much for sitting at my table today.
It was a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share the show. Every great story deserves a seat at the table.